Hello. All right. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. All right, let's get started here. And while this is loading up here, take a moment to thank you guys for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family. All right. And if you made it to the end of the show and you've made it through the spiritual report, you might have found out just how precious this family is and how precious you are to me. Okay, so here we go. July 9th. Actually, let's just scroll up here. July 9th, 2024. Not much activity going on right there. Okay, it's pretty quiet. You see this over here. What I was kind of watching was this down here. Something happens here. Two things separate. One spreads this way and heads inwards, and another heads out of frame. If it'll play here. Right, yeah, right down in that area. You could see the other section heading this way, so. Very faint, but right in there, there's something moving that way, and the other half kind of moved away. It's one of those separating events again. So, and then something looks to be creeping in over there in that last little event here, too. Creeping out right in here. All right, so we do have some extracurricular activity going on there. I need to get this music off there. There we go. All right, so now we got this going, and also we have. It's in the next days. All right, so we still have a lot of spire action going on either side over here, which is indications of future activity. You can see this region right here starting to roil over here on this side and pop and snap and crackle, so something's about to come out of there pretty soon. And then you can also see these regions flaring up a little bit. So activity still, inbound is what those needles kind of indicate, or something also possibly out of the frame a little bit. Okay, so there's your activity for today. Let's get through this part real quick too. Solar flux indices up 9 points to 178, so it's creeping up little by little. Not too much right now. Sunspot number count jumped up a bunch by 53, so we're up to 143. The area is 57, but geomagnetic forecast all clear for the next 3 days. Here's your little bumpy ride for today. Let's just zoom in on that real quick. So our goes solar X-ray flux for today. And then going into tomorrow, it looks like we've already had some activity here. I saw just a little bit of this earlier, but it looks like we just had another little event there. I wonder if it's loaded up. Would you like to go see if maybe we could go take a peek into the future? No, you don't want to go take a peek into the future? Well, we're going to do it anyway. So let's refresh that page too so we get as many frames as possible. And look at there, sun diving comet. Did you see that thing streaking in there? It's taking a second to load up there. Just give it a second. Yeah, we have a sun diving comet that just streaks right in there, right there. And then something going on over here. All right, so that's your event right there, probably that's going into that little peak that we see. I don't know. It might be something going on over here too. But clearly, you can see we have a nice little sun diving comet coming in there. All right, so there's your little peek into tomorrow already. Meanwhile, our X flare potential 5%, M flare 40. The moon's 20% illuminated tonight. Let's see. Nice and quiet right now. Our KP is down at 2 now and has been, pretty much at 2 for a while since this little event right here and the one right before it. Okay, nice and quiet on our auroras. Obvious, KP2. Our sunspot, though, is this beta gamma region right here, 3738. And this one, I'm a little not concerned, but we should watch this one carefully. Both sides are pretty strong, but they're not close together yet. So as long as they stay separated and they don't get a delta configuration, we'll be all right. But as you can see, both sides are pretty strong. They're pretty dark, so each pole is pretty powerful. All right, so going back now. So beta gamma for right now and growing. All right, so it's still growing. That's the concern. Is it's still it's still progressing. Now here we go. 3738 shows signs of development on Tuesday as it rotates into almost Earth directing phase position. The active region is currently producing minor C flares and will remain a threat for moderate M flares. Okay, and what did we just see out of it? A little M flare right here. Looks like it broke. Actually, let me check right now while it's underway. Give just a second here. I want to see. There's one person. Can you hear me or see me? Give me a 5x5 or 7x7. Yeah, you probably can. Yeah. Interesting times we live in. All right, let's get back to our solar report where we left off. We'll let some people gather here in a few minutes as it kind of comes back. Excuse me. Sorry about the interruption. They shut me down there, I guess. Here we go. 3738 showed signs of development on Tuesday as it rotates into almost Earth directing phase of position. So this is the one we were talking about, 3738, and its configuration. It just probably unleashed this M1.5. Okay, so that was our M flare for the day, was this 1.5 right here. Okay, so that's where we kind of left off. We're picking up where we left off there with our M1.5. Our geomagnetic forecast being clear for the next 3 days. It didn't look like there were many big objects coming our way. It should be kind of clear, I think. I agree with them on that. Let's just open up the tracker to see if anything. See this CME right here that they're tracking? Look at this. What are you guys doing? Quit popping open. I click on this and it opens an ad. How does that work? That's Earth. This thing's going to brush us. It's going to sideswipe us right there. See the little bulge? See how it affects our IMF line? Makes it ripple a little bit. So I have a feeling we're going to get a little impact out of this one here. And looking over here, north-south, most of it's going south, so it mostly south and just the very edge of the corner. But these are the type that sometimes do the unexpected. So when's this supposed to hit here? They're showing this one really quick here. This doesn't even show any kind of Earth impact or anything. So probably about 3 days from now, we might see a little disruption, but hopefully nothing too big. If there's an unexpected geomagnetic storm on the 13th, 12th or 13th, depending on what day this is today, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, probably around the 13th, if we get an unexpected geomagnetic storm, it'd be from this little event. If there's an object going with this, we should go investigate that a little bit clearer. Oh, we're getting a few people back. That's okay. This event right there. Going to the south. So, and behind us too, I think. Unless they're talking about this one, but it sure doesn't look like it's, well, I don't know. Could be this one, I guess. Nah, because that's coming off of this quadrant of the sun. This is coming down to the left. It's got to be this one then. Yeah, probably just a little light, little tap right there. So, okay. Finishing up that report. Slight chances on the 13th for a little side swipe in there. Okay, let's get on over to here. X out of that. Get out of this. So now our fast growing sunspot AR3738 is getting really big. Watch the movie. Showing how it has grown in the past 5 days. Now, almost 10 times wider than Earth, the sunspot group is directly facing our planet with the beta gamma magnetic configuration that harbors energy for geo-effective solar flares. Okay, let's go ahead and click on their little movie real quick. Ooh, it did intensify pretty rapidly at the end there. See that? Let's I can do this. I can do this and put it right there. How about that? Or that's even better. So it did some healthy growing right there. I zoomed in too much. And then note this little configuration. Here's our big sunspot group. This little patch coming in next over here too. So we'll have to watch out for that. Oh, we're all messed up. So there's your forecast for there. Zoom back out. Okay, the noctilucent clouds are all over the place because we have more particulates in the air. Okay, big old article on that. You go check it out. Now over here, we've been cruising right along. This is missing data. Okay, and it doesn't look like there was any kind of event in there at all either. Everything's still kind of smooth. So we're pumping along kind of smooth today. A little glitch in the data, a little weakness right there. But other than that, we've been going pretty smooth. All in all, for the last 48 hours is pretty good. I'll take that any day. Now, let's come on over to what we're looking at here. Let me pull back a little bit here, give you some perspective. Here we are over at Null School. Okay, we're doing our Null School report. I was looking around at the weather and stuff, and I noticed this storm down here. Look at the configuration of this whole complex right here. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And then I look down below, and we have this. Now, I'll let you be the judge of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go, this is at the surface. So we're going to climb an elevation. Go to 850. something is causing the weather to change right there. I don't know if it's a triangle object or some kind of V-shaped object, it looks like maybe. But just strange how it's right underneath this whole complex, this big swirling complex. Also, look at this this barrier right here, this thin blue line barrier. Let me pull it into the middle of the screen. There we go. So we got this thin line little barrier where wind is coming from different directions and slamming into each other in this thin red, there's some kind of dividing force right there. Do you see it? It's like stopping the wind right there. Then we have this weird V-shaped type structure here. Some weird stuff going on down here. Okay, and this one, look how it's just very sharp, defined line, very sharp, defined line. The winds change direction according to a triangle or V-shaped object right there. That's at 1,000 feet. Here's at the surface. And you see this very thin, fine, divine line right there along this edge is the same kind of thin, fine line we see going on right here. Just very strange. And we almost have this perfect cross going across the bottom here, too. Whoops. See what I'm saying? See how this line? Now, if we have one of these objects or these events that travels south of the planet, right? Well, you would see activity at the southern hemisphere. And it looks like that's what we're seeing here, some different kind of activity down at the southern hemisphere. Now, mind you, they're in winter right now, so that's to be kind of expected a little bit, some stormage. Now, let's get back to our regular weather here. And we have right here off the coast of Korea, in between Japan here, we have a good little storm going there. This big old gyre that's just sitting there spinning. Okay, a lot of this is effects now from our thermal production out here in the oceans. Okay, and then we look down here. South Africa got snow. Just some very, very, look at how powerful, look at these two storms right here, these two vortexes right next to each other. Look how powerful that one is and how powerful this one is. This one's coming off, feeding into this. Again, another weird configuration down here at the Arctic, at Antarctica. Here's that triangle shape structure. We have this over on the other side. Here's another double vortex here. These are tight, compact vortexes. And then look at this big old storm right here. Okay, so now we're through that. Let's get on. There's your upper jet stream, your lower, your weather. Now the sandstorm. Okay, there we go. Big old plume still coming off coming off the Africa, across the Atlantic, through the Caribbean, up into the Gulf, spreading out across America there. You can see this green little haze going around America there. Oh, it's this light. That's where. Turned on a light while we were shut down there for a minute, and that's what affected some of my. All right, there we go. It's a little better. All right, a few little adjustments, so you guys can see where it's how far it's reached, almost up to the Canadian border now. Okay, now we got a big intense plume right off the coast of Florida here. It's really dense, okay, and you see the rotation. It's going to take the sand and throw it right up into the this pocket of Florida up there. You see this flow coming in. You can see where that's going to go. Half of it's going to split and go down this way. The other half's going to go up through there. Oops. Okay, so now not only do we have sandstorms over in the Sahara across the Atlantic, they're coming through the Caribbean and hitting Florida now. We even got a little plume of sand up here off the coast of California or Oregon up there. No, that's California. Okay, and then over here we have winds pushing stuff across the Indian Ocean, taking sand off of Saudi Arabia and pushing it into India. And then we also have this big old band of sand up here, another sandstorm going up on the up by the Gobi Desert. So there's all your crazy ass sandstorm activity. Something's wrong. We've been having sandstorms all through the winter and now into summer. Okay, let's get on over to the SO2 without the wind. There we go. All right, there we are. Our country divided, bleeding out on one side, all speckled on the other. Looking around, getting dark patch up here, getting kind of dark through this region, lightening up right and through there. But again, we've had flooding from the hurricane coming through here and all the tornadoes. Some very serious tornadoes touched down out of this hurricane. I saw some footage that was just off the hook. Meanwhile, up here in Canada, some intense plumes, and these things spark fires as well. Okay, cruise on over to Hawaii, take a stop at Oahu. Okay, it's still emitting SO2. That's good. Keeps any kind of volcanic activity from happening on that island. Meanwhile, over here on this island, we've seen a pickup in magnitude, an increase in earthquakes and in magnitude right there at Hawaii. Get right there somewhere. It's just that little gap of height, huh? Need something a tad bit thicker. All right, well, anyways, I'm trying to get the video right. My bad. So we still have gas emissions here that are relieving pressure, and they're doing their job as far as keeping any kind of volcano activity from happening there, and also keeping the earth or keeping the volcanoes on the other islands from popping off too. So trying to find something that's gonna just right in that spot. Nope. Oh well, I'm just gonna fight it tonight. There we go. Moving on. Let's get on over here to over to China. Adjust for their time. Okay, they still have a lot of gas emissions coming out of their region. Really dark pockets here and there. You can see it's creeped up into this region, up into Russia. This area is getting dark up in there now again. It had receded. So all in all, you can see we've had an increase in pressure here just by the darkening of these two areas and the increase in, all in all, the whole purple aspect. Again, Europe and Russia, all kinds of little perforations. You come down here to Java. Java, the Purple Island, it's emitting a lot of SO2, a lot of volcano activity there, as well as it coming out of the ground. Here on Sumatra's filled in now. Malaysia's filling in tense spots here at the tip. And come up here and take a little peek at Taiwan. Another little relief spot right here, Fulcrum Point. And you see a lot of SO2 coming out of there because we haven't had a very big quake here in a while. And energy's been piling up and stacking up. And now we're starting to see stronger SO2 emissions out of the region. We need a good quake right there. We've seen quakes just south of it. Seems like that thing's plugged up or something. Or, blocked up. Meanwhile, down here in Australia, some plumes here. It's starting to break out around Australia as well. India has its issues. Saudi Arabia. Of course, here's all sand. But down in the South Africa, they have their issues. All right, so there's the SO2. Okay, everybody take a deep breath. Here we go. Let's get into our thermal report tonight. Our surface temperature anomalies. Okay, we'll start off with this one. It's still big, concentrated. It's kind of big, getting spreading out as far as its area. This patch has reduced from one big yellow bar back down to a nice little patches here and there. It seems that Tamumasi is leaking now and probably emitting more of the magma, more of the pressure is coming out of that instead of the rest of the, these other perforations. This whole area is kind of coming together in its own little yellow bar type structure here. And it's filling in. Meanwhile, we got another little yellow bar structure kind of going on down here. We see here at Taiwan, there used to be cold water inundation on the backside, and it was just red. Now we've gone from orange. Now we're seeing yellow in this region, and we need a good quake there. And I need something just a tad bit bigger. That'll work. Yeah, let's try that instead. I got the funkiest setup. I gotta use little wedges and stuff under my tripod to lift it up and lay it down just to get it right angles and stuff. There we go. That's a lot better. I'm trying to get rid of those wavy lines. So we have yellow in this region and on the backside growing, especially down in here. Okay, so pressure in this area has increased and it's causing the water temperatures to increase. We see cold water getting shoved into this little bay over here. Okay. Meanwhile, down by like Java, where another relief valve is, not so dark or yellow or anything, it's doing its job. We even still have some cold water right in this region. Can't see it too well. There we go. We still have some cold water in that region right there. So Java's doing its job as far as relieving pressure, but look at this starting to grow out here now. In this office Sumatra here. Meanwhile, along the coastline, look at these little pockets popping off over here. This is all new. Look at this. Bing, 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 bing. All of that is all new. Look in the Mediterranean starting to have issues too. And down here we have all these individual sites. We'll put on the currents real quick. I'll show you how cold water running into hot water, cold water to hot water, from hot to cold, hot to cold, hot to cold. So these are all individual little sites, all little individual perforations, and each one, wants to, they attract cold water and they create boundaries and vortexes, and you can see just this snake. It's either hot or cold, because if you're lukewarm, you get spit out. Okay, along the coast of Africa right here, we're seeing some of these hot spots starting to grow in this region. This is, I want the air currents now. And yeah, there we go. Because we were seeing air currents crossing the equator. So if we get hot air, hot water, well, we got this big cold plume, but if we see some of this creep up into there, we might actually get cold air creeping up in there, which would be good. That would quell the whole conveyor belt. Okay, so now we got it set up here at the conveyor belt. Let me just kind of leave it like that. Our hot patch creating this whole kind of structure right here. All right, it's weakening down in here. It used to be a lot more organized and a lot stronger. So we are seeing weakening in this band, and this is where all the production, all your hurricane production is, and the sand has been quelling it. So we got that one hurricane that made it through there, and let's pray that the sand kind of keeps quelling that activity, and that this hot spot maybe kind of stays up there and keeps production down, keeps quelling the productivity. Keep it up here in the north or something. Meanwhile, you see your your air patterns coming up, coming down. Hot air just gonna blast this area with nasty weather here. You see cold air come down right there, mixing with warm air. See cold air, warm air mixing. This area is going to get some severe weather. And the more this continues to grow, the more it's just going to continue to get gather strength and get more organized. But changes, we keep seeing changes. This thing will grow and it weakens this down here. We see other stuff pop off, like over here. This take pressure away from there. Okay, and we got a nice vortex kind of growing right here pretty soon. And we also have this activity where the conveyor belt comes up to the west coast and then dives south and then heads back out. So not much storm activity is making it across the west coast. Everything's kind of hitting the coast and heading down. This hot air from up here over this warm water is getting driven down in there, and the west coast is suffering a heat wave because all this hot water, hot air is going like that and keeping that area clear, while the rest of the country gets whatever comes up through here. See what I'm saying? It's been kind of cut off like this. We also had this cold air jet that was coming over the top and feeding cold air right into the hot air, and they were joining right in the middle. That has ceased. You see that stream that was coming down has ceased now. With the hurricane coming up through here, it's kind of pushed some of the stuff up north and out of the way. So now we don't see that cold air diving in. That will eliminate a lot of the severe weather activity in the middle. You can still see over here how everything's lining up with the heat signatures, vortexes, wind patterns are all following heat signatures. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of thermal weather patterns, or weather patterns being controlled by the thermal productivity from the sea surface temperature anomalies. Was that a mouthful or what? Okay, some places I wanted to look at there. I saw something. What was it? Oh. Here along the west coast, we still have this area right here, right off the Cascade, or right where the Juan de Fuca comes in, or Fulcrum Point right here. Nice hot spot growing right there. Could possibly see some earthquake activity out of that region just because of the pressure there, not from coming down from plate tectonics, from pressure underneath our fulcrum point right here. We could start seeing quakes because of this pressure right there. So, And then you can see how this has reached all the way up to the coastline now. There's just this really thin band of cold water hugging the coastline. But after that, it's just this huge, massive plume off the west coast. Okay, and it was worse. It has shrank in intensity. And that's due to this increasing in intensity. We had a new opening, more hot, more pressure being vented right here at Tamumasi instead of throughout this region. We're also getting pressure is pushing up cold water from different layers of water in the strata. Imagine different oceans below our ocean, because there's a layer of strata like ground, and then if you went through the ocean floor and dug down another 1,000 feet, you'd run into another lake or another body of water. It's like like they're stacked on top of each other. And when you get a break or a rupture in the strata, that cold water that's in the underwater, ocean comes squirting up into our ocean. And I believe that's why we're getting super cold water down here, is because it's being pushed up as well as hot and magma being pushed up as well. So we're seeing little spots that pop up out of nowhere like this right here. This saved Houston and Texas a lot more damage. It could have been way worse. Does that look like a 23 right there? Anyways, right here you can see this cold water has been a savior, really. Kind of saved that hurricane from being a Category 5 and hitting the coast with just full force. I mean, it hit pretty good, but it could have been way worse if it wasn't for that little cold plume right there. And we'll even put the wind patterns back on, and you can see anything that's going to come through here is going to gain in intensity, right? Anything that comes through here is going to gain in strength. Well, maybe not without the sand, if we have sand inundation, but something could form in the Gulf right here without any sand and then come up, but it gets taken out right here. Not totally taken out, but weakened. And now what I'm concerned about, these hot patches growing off here. Coastline right in there. You see this vortex starting to rotate around these hot patches right here. Do you see it's drawing stuff through the Caribbean? That's a weather pattern we could be stuck with for a while. People in the way would be Yucatan Peninsula, Jamaica's right in the middle, these wayward islands out here. All these islands are just like on the skirt, on the edge of it. Well, if this heat plume right here continues to bloom and blossom, we could see this kind of structure, wind pattern structure, stay, stationary for a while. All right, so your conveyor belt's weakening down here. No new hurricanes. Sand from the sandstorms has been inhibiting convection, so it's been working. Amazing how the planet has all these little tricks up its sleeve to relieve pressure and handle these situations. So, all right, let's get on over to our earthquakes, because we had a new one right here. Yeah, this is our new quake. It was in red earlier. It's a 6.7. Okay, so we had an increase in pressure. We saw the purple on the SO2. Here's your jump in magnitude, 6.7 on a plate boundary. And note it's down in the southern hemisphere where we were seeing weird activity. Okay, let's jump into our regular quake now report. This is a 4.9. What do we do with those? Down at 76.5. So we got a 5 a little below the surface, 5.1 at the surface, another 5 coming into the catcher's mitt, so 3, 5 range earthquakes there. 4.6 down at 9.7 there. Whoops, whoa. 4.5 at 136, probably something volcanic right there. What I'm interested in is this right here. A 4.5 at the surface in India. Now, this is a diverse quake. Okay, it's not on a plate boundary. It's not our typical quake activity. So here we have a mid-range 4 at a depth of 10. I want to see what's on the surface here real quick. Let's make sure we don't have a... No. No, we don't have any volcanic features in the area. There's your diverse quake. Diverse also meaning not your usual activity. All right. Here out in the lake region, 4.0 at the surface. Let's go to 4.1 here in Turkey, and then 4.8 in Greece, or another at Turkey, down at 80. A couple of turkeys there. Ooh, finally something on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, a 5.0 down at 10. Well, that's a little bit of energy. We could use a lot more relief of energy there. All right. I think right here. This is a 4.7 on the Central Pacific Rise. Plate boundary quake right there. Let's see what our magnitudes. Ooh, we got a 4 here in the Dominican Republic. Slight increase in magnitudes now. You see all this, right? Because we've had pressure came in there. Usually mid-range 2s and then jump to 3. Now we just seen a 4 there. Okay, now we're going to all magnitude USA. Okay, hopping on in. All kinds of little quick activity at the volcanic islands, all the way up. Here's 3.4 down at 35, and a 3.1, 3.7. Okay, now we had a fair amount of activity here today. 3.5, 2.8. This 2.3 made it over. And nothing here on the Juan de Fuca today. The last few days we've been seeing, mid-range 4s and 5s out here relieving energy. So maybe some, a fair amount got released and it's not active today. We do have energy at our fulcrum point, probably about that 2 energy that we saw up above. 2.8. Also 2.2. Now, as we see the pressure increase in this area, remember we saw yellow and orange right here on this side of the coast. We'll probably see some more activity out of this Juan de Fuca region, all right? And that'll be okay because we need to relieve the pressure that's underneath there. As long as it's not like giant magnitude, 5, mid-range 5 and under that doesn't do damage, we're all good. Typical little quake activity out here, micro quaking, that's good. All down the fault line, nothing in the Bay Area today. Yep, our typical energy over here. Ooh, New Madrid quake. 1.6, down at 1.1 or 11.1. Okay, just to it's a little reminder to let everybody know this little area can still move. And then this down here is a 4.2. Okay, there's no plateau. All right, so 4.2 down to 10. There's your earthquake report. Get rid of this, and this. We can do a volcano report. 33 erupting, 28 in warning, 61 volcanoes. What are you doing? I did not click on an ad. Close. Thank you. We're getting there. Eventually it'll let us work. A lot of red on this map. So I guess you didn't. I clicked on this. Volcano report to this, please. Okay, here we go. Etna, Stromboli. Look at that. Emissions, or lava hitting the water, creating steam. Copious steam emissions from the interaction of lava and the external water, so-called laza, or lays, sorry. Stromboli. Effusive eruption continues. Lava on the focal continues to keep the flow active. Okay. Stromboli, active. Right below it, Etna, active. Nova crater descended about 3,000. Okay. IBU, Ibu, 9,000 feet. Luatobi, 10,000 feet. Semaru. That was interesting. Semaru pumping its max at 15,000. Ducono, 8,000. Fuego, nothing. Sangay, 20. Reventador, 14.5. Sabancaya, 24. And Villarrica. From July 8 shows that previously persistent and strong thermal signal. Okay. Now let's get into the 9th, which was today. And it's now yesterday. Again, Stromboli and Etna, Campi Flegrei, the latest weekly update for the Volcano Observatory at Naples. Ooh. Excuse me, indicates no significant changes. Okay, in the week from 1 to 7, mostly tiny earthquakes were recorded. Okay, we're seeing earthquake activity at a volcano, Campi Flegrei. Okay, we're gonna have to watch this one carefully because that's the one. And now it's on the volcano reports now. So Spravensky, back to 1.3, 260 earthquakes. Wow. And 40 earthquakes in the Schwarzwald fault area. Nishoshima. Ibu, 8,000 feet. Luatobi, 10. Semaru, 15. Ducono, 7.5. Home Reef, a newer one, is on there. Cleveland in the Aleutian Islands, Alaska. The Alaska Observatory lowered the aviator color code to green. Okay, they lowered that one. Good. 15 out of Fuego, Nevada del Ruiz, Sangay probably pretty high. Reventador 14, Sabancaya 24. All right, let's do the weather. Telling you, these volcanoes are doing a lot of the venting of the pressure, so which is good. It keeps the earthquake activity down. Let that load up real quick. And probably the weather is so volatile now with all the added factors. Your particulates, your moisture, and now the spiritual realm playing games with the weather as well is just making everything so unpredictable. That's what I mean by volatile, is that it's very unpredictable. It's predictable up to a certain point, and then other factors enhance stuff that we didn't expect. So we could kind of stick with that, saying it that way. Meantime, here we are, severe weather. That's your, Illinois, Indiana, Chicago area right now, current conditions. Go through the morning time. It's still going to be severe up into Michigan and Wisconsin. We go the noontime, convection, nighttime, severe weather at nighttime up through the north up here, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and then it's out of there by the morning. Whew. We get into the noon of the 11th, convection, nighttime, 12th, noon, convection, nighttime, 13, noon, convection, nighttime, 14, little swoop right on in here, the morning of the 14th. See this storm, this little low pressure kind of sneak in there. Morning of the 14th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 15th, noon, convection, nighttime. Did you notice a difference in our pattern? We're not having severe weather right here in the center anymore because that cold jet that was coming down and mixing with the warm moist air that was coming in has stopped. That mixture has stopped, and now we're not seeing the severe weather in the middle of the country as much. So we'll run this one right here. This will be convection the 16th, nighttime 16th, morning of the 17th. Watch out right in this area. Noon, convection, nighttime. Anything past this is just too unpredictable. But it looks like our severe weather pattern, we still get these little speckles, here and there, but that big mixture of cold air diving in and warm air coming up to meet it right there, that whole mixture is gone. So all right, now we're done. Okay, so that was your weather, your astrophysics, geophysics. We'll do a spiritual report for the stragglers that hung out this long. You guys aren't stragglers. You're actually the elite for hanging out that long. Most people don't have guts to hang out that long. Speaking of the spiritual work, you guys have been doing really good. So we were working on, salvaging our day. We're helping other people do their salvage work and stuff as well. Some days you have to do it a lot, and some days it just goes really smooth and you don't have to work so hard at it. All right, you have good days and you have bad days. The intensity levels change in your throughout the course of a week. We have our Schumann influx, or our Schumann influence, as well as what's going on in the media. Okay, now I've talked about trying to stay away from the news until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, or until most of your day is completed. I know a lot of us are addicted to checking the news. The first thing we do when we get up in the morning is the first thing you do is you check your phone, you check all the different channels, you see, what alerts and blah, 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 and you get all wound up the first thing you do in the morning. So we got to try to break that habit. Have moments of peace before you dip your toe into the pool of the media chaos. Okay. And I think some of you are seeing through this now. You can see how they're trying to manipulate the public to hate each other, right? It's one side versus the other. If you're not for this guy, you hate the other guy. If you hate that guy, then you like this guy. They're playing you. They are playing you. They are playing you. Do not get played by these clowns. Do not let them rattle your cage. Okay. And that's what we're trying to do, is keep a sound mind throughout the course of the day. And a lot of the media influences, the bad news of the day, the body count, some of the, the sad stories that we hear, put you in a bummer mood, or in a negative mood. And we're trying to salvage that negative mood, put it back into a positive mood, and then take that positive mood and share it with others, right? You want to shine and overflow into others' lives. Okay, so we're just going to do some reading. You guys want to see more pictures? You want me to just do the reading? Hang on. I'm talking to the people here that are stuck it out in the chat now. Would you rather me do a reading? Would you like to hear more of my testimony? Would you like to see more images? Let's make this last little bit of the show about you guys. So I'd like a little input from anybody as to just do a reading. Do you want me to do a reading and show more pictures? Put it in the chat. I can hear all different responses, but I want to see what you guys type in the chat, what you would like to prefer to do right now. And it takes 8 minutes probably for the go ahead and read. Don wants to read. All right, let's get it done, because I got some stuff for you guys too. I think you've had enough of seeing my ugly face, right? You guys get it? You don't really need to see my face all that much, do you? It's right there on the screen anyway. Okay. Now, when I was talking about getting into, when you get up in the morning, the first thing you check is the bad news. Why don't you check the good news? Put on something spiritual and start your day. Pick out like one of your favorite channel guys that do readings, or even take mine at the end of the show, and start your day with something positive, something spiritual, before you dive headfirst into the bowl of vomit. Because that's what they're spoon feeding the public, a bunch of vomit. And it's just, we got to break that habit. Okay. A lot of us are addicted to bad news, negative news, the drama, all of that stuff. And we're trying to break that cycle slowly but surely. And one of the ways is, the first thing you do in the morning when you get up, try going outside, fresh air, say a prayer. Start your day with a prayer. Lord, thank you for another day. I can't wait to see for all the treasures that you have lined up for me today. And when I see the first one, I'm going to try to recognize it and thank you. When you do that, your day just starts off a lot better. Okay. So it's important that you know that, like, there's a time for things. In the morning is not the time for digesting bad news. Wait until all the work's done and you've had, all your interactions throughout the day. So it's timing. There's like a time for everything, and a season for every activity under heaven. See, when you seek my face and my will, searching for guidance, I may show you the next step on your journey without revealing the appointed time for you to take that step. Okay? I may show you the next step without revealing the time to take that step. So instead of going full speed ahead as soon as you know what is next, sometimes you must wait until I show you when I want you to go forward. When is a good time to digest negative news? Is it right before you interact with your kids? Probably not. Okay. So I show you the next step, but you got to wait for when to take that step. You got to wait for the timing. I will show you when I want you to go forward. There is a season for everything, and this means that even the most fulfilling times in life must eventually give way to something new. Okay, everything is constantly changing, so even your fulfilling times in life must eventually give way to something new. Whereas some of my followers like to chomp at the bit to forge ahead into new territory. Others hold back even when I'm clearly directing them to go forward. So we get we get both eager, we chomp at the bit to forge ahead right away, but then other times we hold back when it's clearly obvious you should be moving forward. Okay, so it's important you wait, and then you wait, and I will show you when to move forward, so you don't chomp at the bit and you don't hold back. You'll just hear, oh, now's the time to move forward. No, I get it. The timing's right. It's perfect right now. There was one last person who had to come up and interact with you before you got into your next activity. All right, so I know a lot of you have figured it out and you are ready to just plow forward. You are chomping at the bit, right? To forge ahead into new territory. Others of you are holding back, but that's okay. I'm clearly directing you to move forward. So instead of going full speed as soon as you know what's next, wait until I show you when. Okay? Um, Moving from a comfortable season into a new situation can feel scary. Okay. Uh, Kind of going through something similar in my household. We got a bird that's ready to leave the nest, and like a bald eagle that refuses to leave the nest and is forced to fly. So that can be moving from comfortable season of life into a new situation can feel scary, especially to those who don't like change, right? Most people don't like change. They like the comfort and the security of the mundane, the same old routine. So, moving from a comfortable situation of life into a new situation can feel scary, especially to those who don't like change. However, I want you to trust me enough to cling to me and follow wherever I lead, whenever I choose. Your times are in my hands, so cling to me and follow wherever I lead whenever I choose. Okay? So that's what it means by your times are in my hands. When you learn this discipline, you will find continuity, more smoothness through your day. Okay? These are tools to help you live at peace. With this, okay, you pray, you apply these tools. It's taking your mind off of the negative, refocusing back on the positive, listening for your when and where response, and then you go. And then you go get them, Tiger. Okay? So we're talking about the media, and I want it's important to not be terrified or discouraged, for I am with you wherever you go. And it's easy for my followers to feel frightened and to feel pessimistic, especially when the mainstream media voices speak so heavily against us, you and me. It's easy for my followers to feel frightened and pessimistic. Why? Because mainstream voices in this, we'll just scratch out that expletive, replace it with the word world. Okay, now, when the mainstream media in this world speaks so heavily against us, it's terrifying. It can be discouraging. It can be frightening. It can be pessimistic. And I'm telling you, don't be terrified, don't be discouraged, don't be frightened, and don't be pessimistic when these clowns in the mainstream media don't know what the hell they're doing. Okay? So don't feel discouraged. Looking at life through this lens now, with this perspective, okay, you guys can see through their lies now, can't you? So looking at life through this godless, biased lens will indeed pull you down. So Christian courage is the antidote to this poisonous input. What is the antidote to the mainstream media? You want to fight back against your enemy, the mainstream media, because they got you looking at life through godless, biased lenses, which indeed do pull you down. They discourage you, they terrify you. And the only antidote is Christian courage. Christian courage is the antidote to this poisonous input, and it is nourished by the knowledge that I am now with you. I am always with you. I have always been with you. Now you got another something solid to grab onto. I'm a person. I'm actually the Word made flesh. And this follows me in the sky everywhere I go because of who I am. All right? So, when I tell you, do not be terrified, do not be discouraged. I am with you wherever you go. Christian courage is the antidote to the poisonous input from the mainstream media. That Christian courage is nourished by the knowledge that I am with you. It's crucial. It is crucial to remember that what you see of reality is only a very small piece of the whole. Okay? What you see in the physical realm is a sliver compared to the spiritual realm. What you're looking at is you're living in a cartoon. Compared to the spiritual realm, this thing is like a staged little show. Okay? And it's crucial to remember that what you see of reality is only a very small piece. You guys know Elijah. And when Elijah was deeply discouraged, he said he was the only one who had remained faithful. Yet there were thousands in Israel who had not bowed down to Baal. Elijah was blinded by his isolation and his discouragement. Okay? As Christians, we have been isolated, we have been discouraged, but Elijah saw more, right? He saw the chariots of fire all around him. Just like you guys are seeing the spiritual realm. He saw the spiritual realm and he knew he was okay. Even though nobody else could see it, he saw it and he knew for sure he was going to be okay. You're seeing it and you know for sure you're going to be okay. Not only am I with you, but I have unlimited resources to help you. So look beyond the way things appear and take courage. Take courage. You got victory, so go get them. What are you afraid of? If I'm for you, who can be against you? I am for you and I'm with you wherever you go. Yeah. Here, you guys are like this. Okay, take a deep breath. Look at me. Look at my face. All things are possible with me. Let these powerful words light up your mind and encourage your heart. What's going to light up your mind? What's going to encourage your heart? That all things are possible with me. I told you about what happened to me, how I accepted this impossible job, right? And I was reminded, don't forget, it's impossible. You're not going to succeed. You will fail. It's impossible. And I said, I'm going to take it on anyways. Well, why would you do something that's impossible? You're going to go through excruciating pain, not be believed. People aren't, I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to do it anyways. Well, what is wrong with you? Are you crazy? And I said, no, I'm not crazy. It's not impossible because all things are possible with Jesus. You getting it? It is possible. All things are possible with me. Do you hear me? All things are possible with me. Let these powerful words light up your mind. Let them encourage your heart. Refuse to be intimidated by the way things look at this moment. I am training you to live by faith, not by sight. This, you are seeing slices of heaven. You still are working on your faith too. It's being completed. Okay? What living by faith and not by sight means is living in the spiritual, having faith in the spiritual realm, and not putting your faith in the physical realm that you can see. That's what that means, to live by faith and not by sight. Because then you would say, oh, well, then that nullifies this. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Deciphered all wrong. When that line, live by faith, not by sight, that means live by what you feel in your heart, not by what you see in the world. Live by what the Bible told you, not by what you see in the mainstream media. Oops. Yeah, that's what it meant. Live by faith, which is the Bible, not by sight, which is your mainstream media. How did I do that? Because all things are possible with me. The sense of sight is a spectacular gift from me, but is to be used joyfully and gratefully. However, it's easy to be mesmerized by all the visual stimulation that you see on TV, internet, TV, commercials, ads. You're just bombarded by mesmerizing visual stimulation. And most of it's bad for your brain. That's why I put these images up here, so you guys kind of look at them and study them. The more this image sinks into your brain, it's better for you. It's good for your brain. Instead of looking at some dude getting his head blown off on a cop show, and then glorifying it because he was a criminal, he deserved to have his head shot off or whatever. There's sick messages out in your TV, out in that land. All right, so it's good that you look at these good pictures and that you listen to sound doctrine. And all things are possible with me. I am indeed training you to live by faith and not by sight. Okay, most people don't even see this. They see clouds. It's your faith that enables you to see me with a crown. Did you know that it's your faith that enables you to see these? Because other people look at this and just go, oh, it's just a cloud. Oh, so what if it looks like a face with hair and it's just a cloud? They have no idea. Right? So good images to look at, good things to fill your mind with. Again, I want to encourage your heart. I want you guys to find some courage. Okay? That Christian courage is what we need. That's the antidote. That's our antidote, is Christian courage. And I want these images, my words, to light up your mind and encourage your heart. And here is my stickler. Yeah, I'm a stickler about this. Refuse to be intimidated. Refuse. Stomp your foot on the floor, stomp and pound your fist on the table and say, I refuse to be intimidated. Because that's what this world likes to do, is intimidate you and try to push you around and make you feel scared. I refuse to be intimidated by the way things look in this world at this moment. Refuse it. And also with your sickness. I refuse to be sick. I refuse to be sick. Say it, live it, learn it, and live it. Refuse to be sick. Refuse to be intimidated. You can refuse a lot of negative things in your life and you will live a lot happier. It's you who's accepting it and letting it in, right? So if you're letting it in and it's bothering you, well, stop letting it in. Refuse to be intimidated. You can now. You can refuse to be intimidated because you know where your paradise, you know your goal, you know where you're going. You could laugh right in the face of somebody trying to intimidate you and just be like, hey, you have no idea where you're going, but I do. And I know where I'm going, so it doesn't scare me anymore. The person that I put inside you can overcome that fear. Kitty's wanting to be part of the show. You coming in here, Bubba? Oh, or are you meowing for outside? All right, we got a couple more pages to go, and we're done. So, the sense of sight is a spectacular gift to be used joyfully and gratefully. The visual stimulation surrounding you is so mesmerizing that you forget about me. Faith is a type of vision that connects you to me. So, like I was saying, your faith is a type of vision that connects you to me. Most people just see clouds. You can clearly see what's going on there. It's more than just clouds. Okay, clearly more than just clouds on Easter. Yeah. So we're going back to faith is a type of vision that connects you to me. Instead of being so focused on the visible world, dare to trust in me and my promises. Live close to me, your Savior and friend, but remember, I am also infinite God. When I lived on your planet, my miraculous signs revealed my glory, and my disciples put their faith in me. I continue to do miracles in your world according to my will and purposes. So seek to align your will with mine and to see things from my perspective. Exert your faith to ask for big things and then watch and hope for me to work. Watch in expectation. Watch in hope. You have hope now. You are watching in hope right now, aren't you? Oh, yeah. Meow. He's a good boy, kitty. All right. Hang on, Herbie. We've got one more to go. You are fully known. I know absolutely everything about you, and I love you with perfect, unfailing love. Now, many people are searching for greater self understanding and self acceptance. Underlying your search is a desire to find someone who truly understands you and accepts you the way you are. So, other people underlying their search is a desire to find someone who truly understands them and accepts them as they are. Where underlying your search is a desire for you to find someone who truly understands you and accepts you the way you are. I am that someone who can fully satisfy this deep-seated longing. It is in your relationship with me that you discover who you really are. It's not about discovering me, it's finding out who you really are. Yeah, I encourage you to be real with me. Drop all pretenses and open yourself fully to me. As you draw near, utter, in, utter these inspired words. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Okay, test me and know my anxious thoughts. What are we doing here? We're trying to relieve those anxious thoughts, aren't we? Yeah. And I know your anxious thoughts, so it's okay to ask, search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Okay? So you got anxiety, you got anxious thoughts, spill them out there, let them out there. Let me hear them. So you vent them properly, and we heal that together. Okay. It's important that you be real with me. Okay, a lot of people hold back all the good stuff. They they're praying for material objects. They're praying for money. They're praying for happiness. Well, happiness is found through hard work. Okay, it's not easy. You got to keep salvaging a day with the power of the Lord to be happy, right? That's where you find fulfillment. And I encourage you to be real with me. The more real with me you are, the more I can help you. So drop all your pretenses and open yourself fully. Those were those rants where you're like dropping F bombs. I can't believe this guy did it. And it turns into a complaint. It becomes a complaint. But if you pray, Jesus, help me. Search me, O God. Know my heart. This guy is pissing me off. Then all of a sudden we are doing some spiritual work, aren't we? You are opening yourself fully to me. Okay? And I want to hear your real emotions. Don't be afraid to drop an F bomb or your cuss words, because that's how you're healing. You're getting that negative out of you. You're giving it to me. I'm going to make a beautiful collage out of your success. Okay? But it only works when you are real. Get real with me. Open yourself fully. Draw near. Utter words like, search me, know my heart. Utter words like, test me and know my anxious thoughts. Because in the light of my gaze, you will see things that need to be changed. But don't despair. I will help you. Continue resting in my presence, receiving my love that flows freely into you through your openness with me. And take time to let this powerful love soak in deeply, filling up your empty spaces and overflowing into joyous worship. Okay, joyous worship, not arduous worship, not, oh, I got to do this again. No, it should be joyous to pray. It should be, after a while, tackling these your salvages. Each salvage that you rescue a day and you do it twice. Each one of those is building you, and you're starting to receive that love that flows. Okay, that's what we're doing here. When you're practicing what I'm telling you and you're getting the benefits, you're receiving my love that flows. It flows freely into you through your openness to me. So the more open you are to me, and the more you understand these concepts, practice them, find the peace, the joy, instead of being arduous. Okay, All of a sudden, your anxious thoughts aren't so anxious. You start resting in my presence. You start receiving that love that flows freely through you as you open to me. And then it's important to take time to let this powerful love soak in deeply. It can't just sit on the surface. It has to soak in deeply. It has to fill up those empty spaces. There's still little empty spaces of fear and doubt and all these little tiny pockets that keep popping up. Ooh, what about that? That anxious thought popped up. Okay. But I take time. Let this love, not fear. Let love soak in deeply. Let it fill up those little empty spaces, all those little spots where you, well, what about this or what about that? Let it fill those up. Let it fill all the way to the top until you're overflowing in joyous worship. It's fun to do. It's fun to be at this show at this part of the spiritual report, right? So um, take time, let this love soak in deeply, let it fill up all those little empty spaces. You need to start searching for the empty spaces. Where are the empty spaces that I have in my life that need to be filled up with this love? Because there's tons of them that you don't know about, and they're going to pop up every day, and you're going to be like, oh man, I have to salvage this day again. Oh, wait a second. That was one of the empty spaces that needed to be filled up. Yeah, as you do your salvage work, and each day you have an accomplishment, you make an achievement. Maybe not every day. Some days it doesn't work all the best you were hoping for, right? And you consider that an unsuccessful salvage. But there's no such thing as a mistake or unsuccessful. It's an opportunity. So you're just practicing, practicing, practicing till you get it, till it works, till you find that peace, that love, until all those little empty spaces are finally filled up, and all the way to the top, you can't fill up any more empty spaces, and now it just starts to overflow. And now you can't stop it. It just you don't have any empty spaces left to fill. You're totally filled with love, and it just overflows in joyous worship. And then you can rejoice greatly, for you are fully known and forever loved. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool how that works. I got, what time is it? Yeah. Maybe there's one more. We'll close with this. Or this one. Okay, we've already covered most of this. Let me close with this a little bit, kind of along the same lines that we were just talking here. It's important to remember that when things are not going your way, refuse, again that word refuse to get flustered. All right? I struggle with that one. I get flustered. I used to have this ultimate patience, and nothing would fluster me. But since all this stuff started happening to me, I'm being retested all over again. And one of my things is I get flustered. So I have to practice these things on a daily practice as well. And when things are not going your way, try to refuse to get flustered. Stop what you're doing, take some deep breaths, seek my face, which remember the sacrifice, the promise, you're doing okay, you're a spiritual warrior. Seek my face means a lot of that right there, okay? So stop what you're doing when you get flustered. Take some deep breaths. Remember, I'm telling you, take some deep breaths. The show. Seek my face. All that comes with all the promises, all the hope, your answers and stuff. Then spend a few moments enjoying my presence. That's what reverses the fluster, is the enjoying my presence. Then tell me about the matters that are frustrating you. All right, start off with it. Jesus, please help me, and then lay into the matters that are frustrating you. I will help you see things from my perspective, right? And then we sort them out what is really important. I will open up the way before you as you press on in trusting dependence. So the way before you opens up, but you don't see it unless you're in trusting dependence. So I will open up the way before you as you go on, as you press forward, but you have to be pressing forward in trusting dependence. It's not pressing forward on your own willpower, it's in trusting dependence. That's where people mess up. Okay, I open up the way before them, and then they press on with their own will instead of pressing on in trusting dependence. So it's that trusting dependence right there that we're trying to perfect. It's that trusting dependence that helps you not get so flustered. It helps you refuse to get flustered. Um, it helps you see my perspective. So trusting dependence is very important on this, because I will open up the way before you on your trusting dependence as you press in with the trusting dependence, remaining in communication with me. Okay, and that, just continue to pray, remaining in communication once a day. Most people don't even communicate until they're on their deathbed. So you're doing communication with me on a daily basis, and multiple times a day is good. Your desire to feel in control is often the culprit behind your frustration. I know, because I want to be in control, and when it doesn't work out my way, I get frustrated, just like you. Your plan, not your plan, but you plan your day and expect others to behave in ways that expedite your plans. Like me. You do the same thing like me. You plan your day and expect others to behave in ways that help your plans. But when that doesn't happen, you face a choice: to resent the situation or to trust me. Ooh, it's the hard one right there, because that situation comes up all the time. And when it happens, you face a choice to resent the situation. Somebody didn't behave the way you wanted and fit into your plans. You're either going to resent that, or you're going to let it go and just trust me. And remember that I am in control, and that my ways are higher than yours, and that this is all for a purpose. Okay? My ways are higher than yours, as the heavens are higher than the earth. Instead of getting agitated about your setbacks, boy, I gotta repost this in my own mirror and remind myself again. Instead of getting agitated about the setbacks to your schedule, okay, we have setbacks that we overcome, but there's setbacks to your schedule that piss you off too, huh? Yeah. So instead of getting agitated about the setbacks to your schedule, use those setbacks as reminders that I am your sovereign God and that you are my beloved follower. Then relax in my sovereign control and trust in my unfailing love, and you'll be okay. All right. It happens. I know it does. It happens to me all the time. And I have to work really hard. And that's what makes this work. Okay, is continuing to practice it. It's a daily thing. You didn't know this probably until you got here, that we're in the art of salvaging our day. And maybe some days you don't have to do it so much, or you don't have to do it at all. Hopefully, as you progress, we'll get to the point where you won't have to do so much salvage work in a day for yourself. You will be at peace and stuff. You will be filled up. All your little spaces in your little pockets will all be filled, and you'll be overflowing. and then you won't have to do salvage work anymore. Then you can teach others how to do their salvage work, right? Okay, and we'll all achieve salvation. Okay, it's a process. Yeah, and I'm so thankful for you guys being here. We had some technical difficulties earlier in the show, and I just was gonna give up, but I don't give up. I get tenacious, and I just find a different way of doing things. And I finally came back, and thank you for coming back to catch the rest of this show. Hopefully, it was worth it. You guys, let's show you some different images now that we've done some reading here. Um, the lion face. How cool is that? It turned into a lion, dude. And then this little guy, whatever, he's a little sad face or whatever. This is going on at the same time on the other side of the hill. And then it changed into this type of event. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Don. I think Don really getting a lot out of this. I know some other people are having success too. And for those of you who think that, it's a bunch of hooey or whatever, you don't have those issues. Well, if you don't have those issues, you're lucky. But for the people who do have to do salvage work every day, this is crucial information for living. And this is stuff they should have taught in school. They didn't teach this on purpose, so you would be easily controlled. You'd be dumbed down thinking their style, looking at the media, believing the mainstream media as the gospel, right? These people take the mainstream media as the truth, as like a gospel truth, and they're deceived, right? Talks about the great deception. Well, you see it now, don't you? You see through the media and everything now. What else can we show? This guy's kind of fun. It's the wolf. See the eyes, the ear. Wait, let's go like that. There we go. And he's huffing and puffing. Gonna blow your house in. Not your house, but well, some people messed up. And the big bad wolf's coming for the little piggies. Right? Funny how the story, or our old stories and stuff like that have multiple meanings. Actually, have biblical connotations. And this thing drop right out of the sky, come right down, take a peek at me. Okay? Real events. The more of this you understand, you see how real all this is, the more you can put your trust in me and find some peace. Look at the teeth in there. He's got teeth and a little beard, big old nose, big old ears. Satan, probably, with the big old nose. He's a liar, right? Pretty easy to tell who that thing is. And then there was this guy. And this was all pictures I took on this one day right here. On June 28th, 2020. And you've seen this one. I ran it through the filter. This is it when it's not filtered. Okay, that's what it looked like. Kind of in the clouds. Oh, we got a special guest. Oh, we got somebody, one of our family members got a wonderful capture. And dang it. Oh, she's still here? Oh, no. I took too long. Oh, she's already gone. Dang it. Watch Woman of the Dragon. who is one of our little family members here. She does her duty of filming the clouds. And she's captured a couple of things I've shown on the show already, the dogs and the cat or whatever. Is it this one? She captured something here, and I want to get it pulled up for you. Yeah, it's this one right here. Is it? Where did that one go? She just had one just a minute ago. Here, it's this one right here. Okay, these beautiful little spires coming off here are just a reflection off of the lens, okay? But she's panning around, she's capturing some weird little things and stuff. But what I want to do is when we get to the end here, all right, oops, let's see if we can pause right there. Okay, I'm going to put the pop-up, yeah, kitty, right here. At the very end is the face. You can see it right here. Here's the mouth. He's kind of droopy. The eyes, the nose coming down. But when we put it in the little pop-up here, it's a little more defined. You can see a little bit better. But actually, you can make it out here. But this would be the bottom lip. The mouth is open. It's kind of groomed down. The nose coming down. Tip of the nose. Eye here. Eye there. And she's been capturing some stuff. And it's big in the sky like this. And you can't see it. But once you put this little pop up here. Let's see if we can. Yeah, kitty, I'm trying. Whoa. Let's redo it like this. You can see the face a lot clearer in this little pop-up corner down here. And the sun is right by his mouth. It looks like he's about to eat the sun. What are you doing? Oh, he wants me to take him out. All right. Anyways, we're just going to kind of close anyways with this image. But she did a really good job. And this is the face that she captured right there. Hopefully you can see it. It's a little better when we go smaller. Right there, okay? And it's the bottom part of the eye socket, the other eye right here, the nose coming down, the mouth right here. You can see that this is a face right here. The forehead's missing. You want to go pray? I know you want to go do prayers, okay? So we're going to wrap it up and go do some prayers after show prayers with the kitty. And we always do prayers after the show, too. So thank you, everybody, for being. Oh, no, we're back. Okay, I was going to close it up anyway. So I love you all. God bless you all. Let's get back to a better picture to close out with. Oops. Right there. Okay. That's it for tonight. I love you guys. I miss you guys. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. Take peace in that. Find joy in that. Even though the mainstream media is going to try to get you all riled up, stand strong in your faith. That's how you do it, is by doing your salvage work and seeing through the lies in the media and seeing my face. Okay, that's how it's done. I love you all. I miss you all. Till my next show, I will be back. Bye.